Hello, everyone. This is Anja, the Bounce Back Coach. Today, I'm speaking with Lisa Cox, who is our resilience warrior, and she's from beautiful Australia. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Now, Lisa, you're an author, a speaker, and a consultant. And I hope I sum it up correctly that you are helping other individuals to find fearless freedom. Is that correct?
That's correct. There's a nice succinct way to say it. There's a lot more to the story, but that's the best way to say it in a short space of time.
Perfect. I wanted to let our listeners or viewers let us go back a little bit in time and tell us a little bit about the Lisa when she was 23 years old. What were you doing at that age time? What kind of person do I have to imagine?
At that age, okay, I was doing, I suppose, what a lot of young women my age are doing. I graduated from university. I'd moved interstate, had a career that I was quite successful at. All those sorts of things. I was fit and healthy, and I travelled overseas quite a lot, and everything was going really well until 2005. I had a brain hemorrhage, like a stroke, and that caused complete organ failure. So I spent the next 3 weeks in a coma, 2 months on life support, and following that, it got really, really interesting. I spent over a year in hospital the first time. My left leg, all of my toes and 9 fingertips were amputated. Still got this one. I've had heart surgery twice and a total hip replacement. So now, aside from that, I'm also living with a permanent brain injury, which has its challenges as well. Fatigue, my speech has been affected, concentration, memory, all of those sorts of things. So that's, again, the shortest, simplest way to put the last 11 years into perspective for you.
Wow. And you're saying all of this, and I look into your face and into your eyes, and you're saying all of this, and you still have this beautiful inner shining that is just like so radiant looking at me now, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to give you the certificate as a resilience warrior, because you really unlocked what it meant to be, to use this resilience and actually show it. How did you, where you are today, being an editor, not being an author and having been posted in Huffington Post and having your own business, so to say. Give me a little bit about the journey and how did you come there?
The journey has obviously been very long and challenging. Okay, it still is a journey, so it wasn't that 11 years ago. It's I had challenges, I overcame them, and everything's been great since. Every single day there were challenges. Nowadays I'm in a wheelchair. I'm over 25% blind. I can't move as freely as I'd like to, and all of those little challenges. I can't drive anymore, but I suppose a big part of the resilience and overcoming all of that was knowing that nobody else was going to help me unless I helped me. I helped myself. There are certain situations where you can have amazing people around you, and I had amazing medical specialists, family and friends, but at the end of the day, just knowing that so much of it came down to what I did or didn't do. And that was something that I'd learned many, many years ago, playing a lot of sport growing up. Played fairly high level sport. And when you lose a point, for example, no amount of sitting around and feeling sorry for yourself and wallowing in self-pity is going to change the situation. You have to get up and move on. And why would you not? I suppose in hospital, I knew I was making very, very small improvements over time.
Yeah.
And why would I not be shining, as you call it, why would I not choose that today if I had the option to? Again, like I said before, wallowing in self-pity helps absolutely nothing, achieves nothing, and it's a pretty boring place to be, quite frankly.
That's good. Yeah. I was reading in your article that that also you applied gratitude. You know, you are grateful for having still your thumb, which is surely helping you in everyday things, what you need to do. I mean, we are chatting here, you're working with your mobile phone, with a computer, you found a way to write and express yourself. So this gratitude, I personally have had a situation where I say gratitude was my one anchor, was my, my life vest actually in drowning. Where do you feel that this gratitude come from? Have you always been a very grateful person, or?
It was definitely there prior. One of the biggest misconceptions, unfortunately, was that I suddenly had gratitude hit me like an epiphany in a hospital and went, I'll start being grateful. But as a young person, I think it was something that my parents had always instilled in us. We had a very modest middle class upbringing, and the idea that be grateful for what you've got. Even though I was an annoying teenager and thought, why haven't I got the cool clothes and all the other kids do? Yeah. We didn't get any of those materialistic things, and it was something that my parents had always instilled in us. And then as I got older and had the opportunity to travel some more, I saw some absolutely horrific situations, some poverty in other countries, and just things like that again brought home how lucky I truly was, even though I didn't have a lot of anything, just for simple things and the little things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if parents are listening or viewing our interview, then this is actually a key takeaway you could give them, no matter what kind of, I think even if you are born into a wealthy family, it would be still one essential tool and gift that you can give to your child to really be grateful every day. Yeah. I practice this with my own 7-year-old daughter. When I bring her to bed, then I ask her, give me 3 things you are grateful for today. And in the beginning, this exercise was super difficult for her, and she was like, "Oh, and this girl did this and this," and I was like, "No, wait." It's not about just recapping the day. It's about finding the gems even in a difficult day. Yeah.
And the article that you're referring to,
yes,
post about gratitude, one of the whole points to that was finding gratitude in bad situations, finding the positives in negative situations, because it's very easy to be grateful and find gratitude when you have a new house or a new car or a new job or a lot of money or something like that. But when you're lying in a hospital bed and there's really nothing to be grateful for, you've just been told your leg would be amputated, you can't see properly, some really horrible things are happening. Yeah. And it really forced me to think outside the box a little bit, and really, really small things. Here in Australia, during summer, it is ridiculously hot. It's disgusting. Yeah. And I had air conditioning. I had a little fan in my hospital room. And it might sound really silly, but I was incredibly grateful for that because everyone who came to visit me was sweating and complaining about the heat. And I did joke that, hey, I'm in luxury, I've got air conditioning. And it's very, very small, but that's an example of just maybe thinking outside of the box and thinking of something very small and insignificant that you can be grateful for that might seem like no big deal.
You even came up with that statement of saying, and my grandma, her leg was also amputated at one point in time. So I've seen it in my own family. She applied the same thing like you did. Me as a relative, I was in complete shock. I was in disbelief for a long time. And but she's like, it's not so bad. And you came up with a statement of saying, what's the humor in it? I will get 50% off foot reflexology or 50% off leg waxing. So
that's right. Exactly. You have to find the humor in those things. And if anyone's going to laugh at it, I do. When they first took the bandages off my fingers, I looked down at these tiny little stumps, and honestly, all I did was laugh. They look ridiculous. I'll be the first to admit it. They look silly, but I always joke when I'm holding little puppy dogs, they grab at my fingers because they look like little sausages. They're crazy. They look silly, but they work and they allow me to write. So I'm grateful for them that they're still there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, wow, amazing. And yeah, I hope you will always have the humor in your life and keep that light within you. Now, looking to the now today, you are now also helping others, and you've written an ebook that you make available for anybody to download. Can you just repeat the website address? It's www.
The website address is www.lisacox.co, lisacox.co. And the ebook you're referring to is Find Your Fearless, and it's just steps and strategies that I've personally applied. And not only when I got sick, but beforehand and today, that have certainly helped with some difficult situations. So in my case, over the last 11 years, a lot of those examples have been based around health and all those sorts of things. But perhaps for you or another listener or viewer, it's relationships or finance or some other challenge. So it's just little tools we can apply to have in our arsenal, tools we can apply to a difficult situation to overcome a challenge.
Yeah, great. I'm definitely going to check it out and looking forward to reading it as well. Yeah. Looking a little bit into the future, are there any dreams or aspirations that you have? That you
plenty.
Plan?
There's a lot more of the world to see. A lot more of the world. I've done a little bit of traveling so far, but there are plenty of places I'd still love to see or go back to. So my husband and I have a few plans with traveling. I have a few plans with work that I'll keep you posted. There's a few things in the process, in the pipelines at the moment. So
have you been to Germany?
It's some exciting stuff on the way. Do I what? Sorry?
Have you been to Germany?
No, just sprechen Sie Deutsch? Mein Deutsch ist nicht sehr gut. The funny thing is, I'm really fascinated with how the brain works because I have approximately 6 months to a year of amnesia from my stroke, my brain hemorrhage.
Okay.
So I can't remember people I met or where I was working just before my brain hemorrhage. Okay. But I still remember the German that I learned in year 8. Only a little bit, but I remember little bits of German and Thai and things like that. So why my brain remembers that and not some really significant parts of my life, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, well, but then again, if you come to Germany, this will be helpful.
Excellent. Now we want to get over to Europe. That's part of the plan.
Okay.
But finding places with wheelchair access has become our greatest challenge, or one of our greatest challenges. There are plenty of places we'd love to see and things to do, but it's a limitation that I can't get up and walk around. And I used to live in another part of Australia, which architecturally is absolutely stunning, old buildings and cobblestones, and it's beautiful to look at. But you can't access it in a wheelchair anymore, and I can get into the buildings. I can just look at them from the outside and admire.
Okay. All right. My grandma, like when I moved first into my own apartment, and it was in one of those old buildings, and I lived on the 5th floor, and there was also no elevator and nothing, and the staircases were very windy. But we managed to get her up there, you know. It's like You always need to surround yourself with strong men, and I hope your husband is a very strong one.
He is. No, I've got some wonderful people around me, and quite a few times they've quite literally had to carry me up the stairs, and no, really great people around me, and that's one of the key steps in the Find Your Fearless that I was speaking about, the ebook. It's also something I talk about quite a lot, is surrounding yourself with like-minded people who maybe have the same vision as you, or people who can support you at the good times and the bad times. And that's certainly something I've experienced, people who either won't be there for the bad times or won't be there to support you when you have some successes. And I think it was John Horn said, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And I've been very fortunate to have wonderful family and friends to help me through some of the more difficult times. And since then, my family's expanded, nieces and nephews and my amazing husband, and they're really wonderful people who can help me with the high times and the low times and everything in between.
Okay, super. Oh, I'm very happy to hear that. Lisa, I want to say thank you so much for the time to have this interview with me, and I'm sure you are still going to help so many more people, and everybody who's getting to know you, it can be really count themselves fortunate. And thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.